History's big names and bold battles might steal the spotlight, but hidden beneath are events so quietly monumental they could shake your perspective on the past. Hidden events, those small, almost forgotten moments that changed everything in ways we're only beginning to understand. Today, we'll explore some of these concealed stories that reshaped nations, challenged society, and, in some cases, altered the path of humanity itself. Pack your things because we're about to uncover the secrets of history that no one told you about. History isn't just what we read in textbooks or watch in documentaries. It's a complex, woven tapestry of events, filled with tales both familiar and forgotten. But what if I told you there's a hidden layer? Stories that never made the cut, that exist in the margins, quietly reshaping the world in ways we never realized. Today, we're diving into these secret stories, shedding light on the forgotten decisions and overlooked actions that had profound, lasting impacts on our world. Get ready because these revelations might just change how you see history forever. Why do these hidden events matter to us? Because they remind us that history isn't as clean-cut as we might think. It's a tangled web of surprises, secrets, and unimaginable consequences. Ignoring these buried stories means missing out on crucial clues about how our world was shaped, and even why things are the way they are today. The challenge isn't simply in unearthing these overlooked tales. It's in grasping how these moments impacted our lives in unexpected, often astonishing ways. So, are we truly ready to question the neat, polished version of history we've been given? If so, let's dive in and uncover the real drama of the past, where every twist could alter everything we thought we knew. The Radium Girls' story is a haunting tale of resilience against shocking betrayal. These young women, hired to paint glow-in-the-dark watch faces in early 1900s America, were told the luminous paint was perfectly safe. Supervisors urged them to lip-point their brushes, shaping the tips with their mouths, each gesture of trust embedding lethal radium into their bodies. At first, it was thrilling work. They were earning good wages and unknowingly swallowing deadly poison. But as the years passed, disturbing symptoms emerged. Teeth fell out, bones deteriorated, and their bodies seemed to glow faintly in the dark, a ghostly sign of their impending fate. What could have ended in quiet tragedy became a fierce fight for justice. Despite the power of the companies against them, the Radium Girls refused to back down, risking public stigma and a legal uphill battle. Their fight, fraught with threats and covered-up evidence, became a watershed moment that exposed a shocking disregard for workers' safety. The Radium Girls' bravery led to sweeping labor reforms, forever changing health and safety standards. Their story, once hidden, now shines as a beacon of courage and defiance against exploitation, proving that even the smallest voices can reshape history. The Zoot Suit riots in 1943 weren't merely street brawls. They were a battle of identity, resistance, and defiance in the heart of Los Angeles. Mexican-American youths, dressed in bold Zoot Suits with their oversized jackets and baggy pants, wore these outfits as symbols of pride and independence. To them, Zoot Suits represented a bold, unapologetic stance in a society that tried to push them into the shadows. But to the servicemen stationed in LA, these suits were seen as a blatant, flashy affront, an insult in a time of strict wartime austerity. When violence erupted, it was more than a war of fashion. It was a deeply symbolic clash over identity, race, and respect. Despite attempts to erase these events from memory, the impact of the riots resonated far beyond that summer, fueling the Chicano movement and providing powerful momentum for future civil rights battles across the United States. One particularly haunting mystery, the Mary Celeste, a name that echoes with mystery, dread, and wonder. In December of 1872, this American merchant ship was discovered adrift and eerily empty in the Atlantic, a ghostly presence on the open sea. No crew, no passengers, no signs of struggle, only the unsettling silence of a vessel lost to time. The captain's log was intact, and the cargo remained untouched, yet not a soul was aboard. What could cause an entire crew to vanish without a trace, leaving behind no clues, no hint of a disaster? Over the years, countless theories have emerged, each more unsettling than the last. Some speak of mutiny, a secret conflict that spiraled into desertion. Others suggest piracy, yet there was no sign of plunder. And then there are the stranger tales, whispers of sea monsters, curses, even supernatural forces that might have claimed the crew. This chilling mystery became more than a question of fate. It transformed the Mary Celeste into a legend. It haunted the public psyche, inspiring art, literature, and even new maritime laws around salvage rights for abandoned ships. To this day, the fate of the Mary Celeste remains unsolved, a ghost ship floating forever in the shadows of our collective fears. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand may seem like a straightforward event, one of history's notorious shots heard around the world. But beneath it lies a tangled web of simmering tensions that had been brewing for decades. This was not merely an isolated act of violence, but the spark that set off an explosion of unresolved political friction across Europe. In 1914, Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, became a target for a Serbian nationalist group known as the Black Hand. But this assassination was more than just a personal vendetta or a territorial dispute. It was the culmination of decades of rivalry between empires and surging waves of nationalist fervor across the continent. As his death rippled through Europe, it triggered a chain reaction, each ally stepping in to honor alliances, until what could have been a regional conflict swelled into a full-scale global war. World War I tore down empires that had dominated for centuries, reshaping maps, destabilizing economies, and thrusting societies into upheaval. The conflict also accelerated technological and medical advancements, reshaping the very fabric of modern warfare and life as we know it. And while Franz Ferdinand's assassination was a flashpoint, its consequences forever transformed the course of history, pulling entire nations and future generations into its wake. All right, as we wrap up, take a moment to consider just how much of our world has been shaped by these lesser-known events. These hidden moments remind us that history is not just a collection of dates and famous names. It's a dynamic web of human stories, some small, others grand, all interconnected. We often overlook these forgotten chapters, but as we've seen, they're just as impactful, and sometimes even more transformative, than the events we're taught in classrooms. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden stories might still be out there, waiting to be discovered, waiting to change how we see our world? And what role will today's seemingly ordinary actions play in tomorrow's history? Perhaps somewhere, in some forgotten corner of today's world, the next hidden chapter of history is already being written. Now, it's your turn to dive deeper into these hidden histories. Which of these stories surprised you the most? Are there hidden historical events you know about that deserve to be brought to light? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, history is never truly finished. It's always just waiting to be uncovered.